1965 to 1978, Project Serpo, Human and Alien Exchange Program, Part 10. The following story is either the greatest kept secret of all time or a complete fraud. You decide. In this episode, they describe more about the planet, including animals, family life, and the terrain. This presentation is of the information posted on the website, serpo.org, from a retired senior government official. The website was intended to facilitate the gradual release of confidential documents pertaining to a top-secret exchange program of 12 U.S. military personnel to Serpo, a planet of Zeta Reticuli, between the years 1965 to 1978. The bodies of water on Serpo did not contain fish, as we know. Some bodies, near the equator, did contain strange-looking creatures, similar to eels, small and about 8 to 10 long, and was probably a cousin of the land-based snake. There was something like a jungle near the marshlands, but not the jungles that we're familiar with. There was a lengthy discussion about weapons. In the end, the Ebens didn't really care, so we decided to take some, just in case. Not for a fight, God knows, as our team was vastly outnumbered, but for the safety aspects of it. Remember, the team was all military members, so weapons made them feel safer. As a side note, they only took 50 rounds of ammunition per handgun and 100 rounds of ammunition per rifle. Here is some information about the animals on Serpo. 1. The armadillo-like creature was not aggressive, it just scared the team members. The Eben guide directed some type of sound, very high-pitch, at the armadillo creature, and that scared it away. These creatures were seen at several locations around the planet. Some were larger than others, but they were not aggressive. 2. Only the snake-like creatures were aggressive, which forced the team to kill one. The snake-like creatures were located in just one area, and the team never saw another one. 3. As for birds, there were two types of flying creatures. One resembled a hawk, and the other looked like a large flying squirrel. Neither were aggressive, and the team could never catch one for examination. 4. As for insects, they had small bugs, similar to cockroaches, but smaller. They were harmless, but did get into the team's equipment. They had a hardened shell, with a soft interior body. The team never observed any flying insects, such as flies, wasps, etc. Several other small bugs were found and identified. 5.2. The Eben civilization. The Eben civilization was estimated to be about 10,000 years old. They evolved on another planet, not on Serpo. The original home planet of the Ebens was threatened with extreme volcanic activity. The Ebens had to relocate to Serpo in order to protect their civilization. This occurred some 5,000 years ago. The Ebens had a great interplanetary war with another race about 3,000 years ago. The Ebens lost many thousands in their war. Eventually, the Ebens completely eliminated all of their enemies. The Ebens have never fought another war since. The Ebens have been space travelers for the past 2,000 years. The Ebens first visited Earth about 2,000 years ago. Why does the Eben population number only about 650,000? The Ebens have a very stable, structured civilization. Each male has a mate. They are allowed to reproduce in somewhat the same sexual way we do, but are limited to only a specific number of children. Our team never saw a family with more than 2 children. The Eben civilization was so structured that they planned the birth of each and every child, spacing them apart to allow the proper social grouping of the civilization. Eben children matured at a super rate compared to Earth children. Our team watched live births, attended to by an Eben doctor, and then watched the development of the child over a period of time. Team members' time. They matured at an alarming rate. The Ebens had scientists, doctors, and technicians. There was one educational facility on the planet. If one was chosen, you attended the facility and learned the job one was best qualified and suited for. Although it was extremely difficult to judge or measure, the team estimated each Eben's IQ to be about 165. The Ebens had no single ruler. There was a council of governors, which the team named. This group controlled every single action on the planet. The members of the council seemed to have been around for a long time. Since Ebens didn't age, or at least our team couldn't detect aging, it was difficult to judge the age of each member. There were about 100 different villages or living locations for the Ebens. The Ebens only used a small portion of their planet. They did mine minerals in remote areas of the planet and had a large industrial plant in the southern portion of the planet near a body of water. Our team determined this plant had some sort of hydroelectrical operation. The Ebens developed a different type of electrical and propulsion system. It was unknown to our team, and I don't think we ever really understood it. They were able to tap into a vacuum and bring back an enormous amount of energy from that vacuum. Our team's living quarters, which consisted of several small buildings, contained electricity powered by a small box. This small box supplied all the power our team needed. Ironically, the electrical equipment our team brought on the trip worked using their power source only. Ebens did die. Our team members saw deaths, some from accidents, and some from natural causes. The Ebens buried the bodies, similar to our method. Our team saw two air accidents involving their intra-planet flying vehicles. The Ebens worshipped a supreme being. It appeared to be some sort of deity relating to the universe. They conducted daily services, normally at the end of the first work period. They had a building or church they entered to worship. Our team left Earth in a large Eben spacecraft and flew to Serpo in approximately 9 months, by our measurement of time. Upon our return, they traveled on a new Eben craft. The time, estimated by our team for the return, was 7 months. How did the Ebens advance so quickly? Nothing was written about this. But Earth-based scientists surmised that, since the Eben culture consisted of just one species, their advancement excelled and accelerated more rapidly than a civilization that consisted of different species, different languages, etc. Why are there only 650,000 in the Eben civilization? Again, we never found the answer, except that many hundreds of thousands of Ebens died in the Great War. Earth-based social behavior specialists surmised that the Eben civilization was structured to accommodate their own needs. Our team did find limited supplies of commodities on their planet. Large buildings were used to harvest food products. The soil wasn't rich in a lot of minerals. Ebens used a form of organic agriculture to harvest food items. Maybe the Ebens were scared that if they overpopulated the planet, they couldn't provide for their citizens. As to the Eben culture, they had a form of musical entertainment. The music sounded like tonal rhythms. They also listened to a type of chanting. The Ebens were dancers. They celebrated certain work periods with a ritual dance. The Ebens would form a circle and dance around, listening to the chanting type of music. The music was played on bells and drums, or something similar to them. There were no televisions, radio stations, or anything like that. The Ebens played a game, something like soccer, but with a larger ball. The object was to kick the ball down a field into a goal. The game had very strange rules and played for long periods of time. They also had another game, mostly played by the children, that consisted of making formations with groups of Ebens. They seemed to really enjoy the game, but our team found little understanding of the game. Although the Eben civilization had no televisions, radios, etc., each Eben had a small device belted to their waists. This device gave orders to perform a particular task, news of pending events, etc. The device displayed a screen, similar to a television screen but in a 3D style format. Our team brought back one of these devices. I think today, we could compare it to a Palm Pilot. The Ebens fought a battle with an enemy for a period of time. Our team members estimated the war lasted about 100 years, but again, that is our time. The war was fought using particle beam weapons, developed by both civilizations. The Ebens eventually were able to destroy the enemy planet, killing the remaining enemy forces. The Ebens did warn us that several other alien races within our galaxy were hostile. The Ebens stay away from those races. The debriefing document never stated the name of the Eben enemy, probably because they no longer existed. The Ebens live in a very simple society. The individual Eben family contained a male, female, and at least one child. Our team did find some families with as many as 4 children. We later learned those families were caring for children of Ebens, who were either on traveling missions, exploring the universe, or dead Ebens. Our team witnessed an aircraft accident that killed 4 Ebens. The Ebens performed a form of ritual at the crash site. The Ebens transported the bodies to a medical facility and examined the bodies. Our team members were always allowed to accompany the Ebens, except during rest period, when the Ebens closed their doors for privacy. Our team members saw the sorrow in the eyes of the Ebens during the death of their own. Later, after the last work period of the day, the Ebens had a funeral. At least that is what our team concluded it was. The Eben bodies were wrapped in a white cloth. Several types of liquids were poured over the bodies. Large numbers of Ebens would stand in a circle, chanting. The individual Eben family lived a simple life. Their homes were constructed of clay, some type of material, similar to wood, and some metal. The houses all looked the same. They appeared to be something from the southwest, looking like adobe. The interior of the house consisted of 4 rooms. One room was the sleeping room, where all Ebens slept in the same room, on mats, a food preparation room, kitchen, a family room, the largest in the house, and a small waste room. This brought up an interesting point for our team. The Ebens did not have a physiological need to release body wastes, as we did. The Ebens had small collection location in the residence for their body wastes, but the Eben's body was extremely efficient in processing all food taken in. Their body wastes consisted of a small amount of fecal matter, similar to a small cat dropping. Our team members never saw any urine excretion from an Eben. On the other hand, our team members' waste consisted of a bulk quantity of both fecal matter and urine. The Ebens had to dig large waste reception sites for our team members' waste. The Ebens accommodated our team. Food, as I mentioned previously, was a problem for our team members. Our team consumed mostly military-style sea rations, but eventually had to switch to Eben food. The Ebens had a variety of food items. They grew vegetables. Our team found items similar to potatoes, but they tasted different. They had some type of lettuce, turnips, and tomatoes. They were the only items similar to ours. The Ebens had other vegetables grown. These were strange-looking round items with long vines. The Ebens cooked the vines and ate the large portion of the plant raw. The Ebens had some type of white liquid, which we first thought was a form of milk. But after tasting it, our team realized it was different, both in taste and content. The liquid came from a small tree, located in the northern portion of the planet. The Ebens literally milked the tree for the liquid. It appeared to be some sort of pleasure to drink the stuff. Our team members never got a real taste for the liquid. The Ebens cooked food. They made pots of stew, which were extremely tasteless to our team. We used a lot of salt and pepper. They also baked a form of bread. It was non-yeast bread and tasted fairly good, but caused extreme constipation to our team members. We had to drink large quantities of water in order to digest the bread. The one common food that Ebens and our team members liked was the fruit. The Ebens ate a great quantity of fruit. The fruit, although different from anything Earth had, was sweet. Some of the fruit tasted something like melons, while others tasted like apples. Another problem was water. The water on Serpo contained a number of unknown chemicals found by our team. Our team eventually had to boil the water before drinking it. Seeing this, the Ebens built a large plant that processed water for our team. In our team's final report, written by the commander, Colonel, the report states that during the exchange period, he was careful not to use exact time periods. The team was able to communicate with the Ebens about 50% of the time. There were some things we were never able to communicate. Our team brought along softball equipment for sporting activity. The Ebens would watch the game and laugh out loud. The Eben laugh sounded like a high-pitched yell. Eventually, The Ebens started playing the game, but never got used to catching the ball before it hit the ground. Our team also played touch football. Again, the Ebens watched the game intensely and then played it themselves. But again, like softball, the Ebens never figured out they had to catch the football before it hit the ground. Although our team members honored the privacy of the Ebens, our team was allowed to witness births. Our team, snooping around, was able to capture the sexual activity of the Ebens. The males and females had similar sexual organs and performed intercourse. The frequency of sexual activity was not recorded as being as often as our society performed. It was believed that they performed the act for pleasure and reproduction. Source: Serpo.org, via Maurice Osborne. My take: some pretty interesting stuff here on the Ebens and life on Serpo. They also answered my question on how the Ebens needed sun protection on a planet that they evolved on.